Everybody, it's Victa. It's time for Tainted Random Run Day here, the Binding of Isaac Victa Repentance series. Hopefully we got ourselves a spicy one. We're still waiting for another video to cross 3,000 likes. A couple of them are very close from over the weekend. Obviously, it's going to be the Super Bowl Sunday today, so I'm not expecting the like streak goal to move until probably tomorrow, but we will see. So here's your screenshot / picture of the day. I'm not sure how to describe this because it's kind of a screenshot, but also a picture sent in by Bergshaft91. Title throw as well. What do we have here? Now, this one has been living rent-free in my head for the last couple of days just because, like, I was trying to figure out what in the world they were talking about, and then I realized what they were saying, which is therefore clarified in the Reddit thread where they said, so apparently the Keeper's trying to tell us something, haha. And yes, that is indeed Keeper's sack that you see there over the, well, it's basically over Alaska, but I did get a good chuckle out of that one. Like I said, it's been living rent-free in my head for the last couple of days trying to figure it out, and then I finally got it. So very much appreciated for that one. Oh boy, let's see who we got. Who does the random wheel feel like blessing us today with? Oh boy. C-Day is going to be Sierra X-Ray, Kilo Victor, Kilo 9, November Whiskey. Well, it's Curse the Unknown, and we're starting off with Tainted Eden. Oh, boy. So, Tainted Eden is not one of my favorite characters. He's not a lot of people's favorite characters because, basically, as soon as you get hit, he re-rolls. It's like having Missing No on crack. We're also starting off with Guppy's Paw, which you would think would be, like, a good thing, but it actually doesn't matter just because it's just going to roll into something different as soon as we get hit. And obviously with us having absolutely zero clue what our HP is, we can't really play too aggressively. We just have to hope that these jerks get out from beyond the pots, and then that's just going to be it. And since this is going to be probably a wacky, wild, crazy run, I hope anyway, I'll go talk about the questions of the episode from last week. Last week I simply asked, where's Blue Baby fall on your character tier list? The number one most upvoted comment came in from Toha7117, who said, B to C tier. I don't really like the characters without red hearts, and he's a little ugly. He should have a boosted drop rate for poop piles. I can't speak to the efficacy of being ugly or what. Well, I mean, actually, I can speak to the efficacy of being ugly, but I can't say about Blue Baby being ugly or not. But I get it. I understand for sure, like, why people don't like Blue Baby. He's definitely not one of my favorite characters. Buffing the poop drop rates would be actually pretty interesting. I personally think I wouldn't buff like the way that his poop works necessarily, but what I would do is I would just give him, just to make him more interesting, what I would do is I would give him permanent petrified poop. Like, that's his passive. Like, instead of poop piles actually like spawning a bunch of flies and stuff, just give him permanent petrified poop. I think that really opens the door for that character. It makes him really, really strong, but doesn't change too much of the functionality of the basic. You know, you still have the danger of not having red hearts and that sort of thing. So I think it's a fun little neat compromise. Second most upvoted comment came from Christopher, who said top 5 exactly. I don't know. I just love his personality, and then they did the shrugging emoji face. Sure. I don't know what Blue Baby's personality is, but yeah. I have to get some clarification on that one. And last but not least, we had Dennis with the third most upvoted comment, who said, not the worst, not the best. He doesn't have much going for him. Honestly, he's not the most interesting character ever. Which, yeah, I agree with. Again, I think that he'd be a lot more popular if he had the permanent petrified poop as one of his passives. I think that, you know, you would see Blue Baby be a little bit more fun to play, a little bit more dynamic, because you have, like, you know, all these different things that are contributing to making his power curve a little bit better. I got to go back and see if there was a bomb for that Tinted Raku, because I do not remember. But, you know, having a petrified poop that just feeds you nonstop, picking up her card, feeds you nonstop consumables throughout most of the entire run, especially like that also incentivizes you keeping the actual poop item that you get as the starting active item. And another Curse the Unknown. So we still have no idea how much our HP is, or what our HP is. You know what? I'm just gonna do this game. You're gonna give me the chance. I'm just gonna take it and run with it. Now, I don't normally take Mom's Eye, but remember, we're playing for the long haul here. We're expecting to get hit at some point. We do get an HP upgrade and also get ourselves a I mean, that's second Guppy item. I do want Guppy's head. I don't necessarily want Guppy, or I don't want Death's List. I'm gonna take Guppy's head. Now, do we use Guppy's paw? No, we don't. And now what I have to do is I have to actually use a trick here so we don't pick up Death's List. The only reason why I'm not picking up Death's List, not that I don't like it, of course, but I don't know how much HP we have. I know that we have 1 red heart, obviously. Death's List could be pretty good. We did get that bone heart. At the worst case scenario, we're going to be stuck with an empty bone heart, which will not kill us. But now we need to find a red heart. Sweet. But anyway, the reason why I'm picking up items that like I normally wouldn't, like with my reflection, and also with not Death's List, but with Mom's Eye, is because again I'm playing for the idea that we're probably going to get hit, and we're probably going to re-roll at some point. And that's just basically how you play Tainted Eden. You hope for the best whenever you get hit and re-roll, and you hope that you don't lose all your HP. That's about it. I mean, I guess the same can be said for any character. But going back to the questions of the episode from last week's episode, someone else mentioned this one was technically upvoted more than Dennis's, but it wasn't on point. But they brought up they did ask. This was sent in by DNA 4063, who asked, "How come I'm not reading the questions of the episodes lately?" It's because lately the responses have either been like not on point for what the questions actually were, or they just simply weren't having a whole lot of participation. Kind of mad that we didn't see a single heart here. Although I am going to go over here and see if we can get some extra keys. This isn't worth 4 keys, really. Like, this is a pretty easy room. But yeah, that's why the questions of the episodes haven't been getting read over the last couple of days. Just because I'll go back and look at the responses, and like maybe 4 people have responded to them. And to me, it's like, well, if people aren't really feeling them, then like I don't really want to continue doing them. I'll wait until we get like a good question for people to actually participate in, said question. Oh my gosh, we can see our HP. What a miracle. So that is where the questions of the episodes have been at. And part of it also, of course, rests on me. If we have more interesting questions and more people will be taking part in them. So don't sleep on those questions of the episodes, because I do read them and see them every single day. And they are great for engagement, like that magic E word that we're talking about now on YouTube these days. And thank you for those of you who do continue to contribute to them, even if not everyone else does. I do greatly appreciate. So I think for here, I wouldn't mind getting a soul heart. The bone heart is interesting because it allows us to play the sack room, but the problem is that every time we tap the sack room, we're going to re-roll. So yeah, with Tainted Eden, you've got to be real careful about. You got to be real careful about a lot of things. HP is always going to be a problem on Tainted Eden. And the reason why I decided to go for Death's List is because at least we can get stat ups on him that is somewhat permanent. He's still going to re-roll every single time you get hit. And it sucks when it happens. But at least Death's List, if we manage to sneak a stat up or 2 like we just did in that other room with the damage up, it's going to provide us with at least a little bit of stability. And really, that's what the key word around Tainted Eden is instability. You don't know, and this is the reason why I suspect, and which is the same reason why I'm not a huge fan of him, is that most people don't like him is just because you can't really get a solid build unless, of course, you get Birthright, which I don't know if we're going to get Birthright or not, but Birthright at least gives you, it makes it to where you have all the items that you've picked up prior to getting Birthright will be permanent on Eden, so you can't re-roll through them, which is real nice. Now, that being said, other than that, it's really difficult for you to be like, wow, we got a huge shot speed upgrade from that. It's really difficult to get tied down and be like, feel real invested, in a character that just re-rolls over and over and over again. And that's kind of how Tainted Eden is. And again, I do feel that is the main reason, the main culprit as to why people don't really truly like him all that much. And I also just lied to you about re-rolling with the Saccharin. We literally just tapped the Saccharin and we didn't re-roll. So let me backtrack on that a little bit. I'm clearing out some rooms here just because I'm trying to get a little bit of extra stats if we can muster it. We did get some bombs, which is good. Rusted key, Honestly, I think that Pinky Eye is doing a pretty good job at keeping us funded right now with some damage. And you would think that this would be a golden opportunity for us to take pills, and you'd be wrong, because technically speaking, I guess every opportunity is a golden opportunity to take pills, but I'm not going to risk it, not on a Tainted Eden run. And I mean, I don't take pills on a regular run, let alone a Tainted Eden run, so go figure on that. Super Ball is super bad. Unless you just really feel like breaking the already broken clown physics in the game. Okay, so Black Gate is, or Black Mega Maw is not necessarily difficult. You just gotta be careful where he spits out the spiders, because, you know, he has a tendency to spit them, like, literally right on top of Isaac. Definitely could use a Tears upgrade if we end up getting one here. We get a movement speed upgrade, which is sure. And here's the thing with the Satanic Bible. We can't take it and think that we're going to be able to hold on to it for very long. So I'm going to take the cheaper Devil Deal here and just try to... basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to lock down Devil Deal items for the inevitable reroll that is to come, which is probably going to be soon. Perfection. I mean, I guess maybe we can get some double drops or something. But so far, so not good. It's not... I mean, we're not in rough shape. We just need HP right now. Right now, we're not getting it. And that's not a great place to be on any character, specifically Tainted Eden, because, again, you re-roll literally everything about them. So, you know, Eternal Hearts are very important, as they don't count as items, and you get to maintain most of the red hearts that you profit from out of that. Flies get that one? It did. Got flies. Of course, if we get Guppy, that would be huge. Where do those bomb flies come from? Must have been hanging around doing other stuff around on the other side of the room. Uh-oh. Okay, our shot speed is absolutely nuts right now. Okay. Oh, come on, Isaac. That one was on you. That one was on you. I had the perfect angle on that one. That one was not my fault. Oh, there we go. Oh, okay, and we just got double tapped despite us being part of Astral Plane, so how that works out, your guess is as good as mine. Well, we have Worm Buddy and Epiphora, and now Brother Bobby and my Shadow. But we went from having lots of HP to now no HP. That was also like Twisted Pair and C-Section. I'm kind of pissed, honestly, that we lost that. Because we were like slowed down by Astral Projection while that happened, and I was not allowed to really do anything there. Dunce Cap is Dunce bad, and honestly I'm just gonna re-roll this because I just can't be bothered with Dunce Cap. I would rather take the chance and get something bad rather than with Dunce Cap. Now we have Shielded Tears and Little Brimmy, which is pretty good. We did also get Conjoined. Also not a huge fan of this roll, but it's better than what we had previously. So seeing knockout drops is able to deal with Carrion Queen. And, you know, speaking about Tainted Eden on a whole, it really is, in a weird way, this is gonna sound crazy hypocritical, but in a weird way, it's the ultimate form of Eden. What do I mean by that? Well, the reason why I was drawn to Eden runs in general, I don't know how we didn't get hit there. The reason why I was drawn to Eden runs in general is because I think it is the true best test of skill in Isaac. Yeah, there's other gimmick characters like Tainted Lost, Tainted Jacob, yada yada yada, that, you know, have gimmicks that if you decide to play into them, you know, you can be, they're difficult characters, but for the wrong reasons, in my opinion. But with Eden, you have to know basically everything about every situation that you can possibly be thrust into. and still thrive and survive, right? With Tainted Eden, it takes that and turns it up to a like 12, not even 11, like to 12, because you truly are re-rolling every single run multiple times, and you're forced to adapt on the fly. So in a way, if you squint hard enough, Tainted Eden could technically be considered the ultimate form of Eden, because again, you're basically punished every time you get hit, right? And on top of that, you are thrown into a new situation in which you have absolutely no control or no clue over as far as what your stats are going to be, what are the items that you're going to be, and that's all going to be highly situational in how you respond to it. So it really truly is like the top form of Eden to be like, you know, adapt, overcome, survive. So, you know, that sort of meme mentality. And that's what is a little appealing about Tainted Eden. I'm not going to say that he's my favorite character. I'm not even going to say he's my favorite Tainted character. He's not. But if you want to look at it from a different light, from a less negative light, Tainted Eden is that it's that character that forces you to become that type of Isaac player, to say, okay, our situation has now changed for better, for worse. This is now how do we respond, you know? This is like having a lead in a football game, and then all of a sudden, like, the second quarter happens, and then, like, the lead gets, like, all the scores and stats get randomly shuffled, and you have a new quarterback to boot. You know, like, you got to know how to just apply all the differences and know where you're standing, and then overcome those as well, and then everything changes again. Use Monster Manual because we might as well. And no, transformation does not. The transformations do not count for Tainted Eden. They're totally dependent on what you have. Also, we got Robo Baby twice. Thanks to Monster Manuel. Good job, Bumbo. Knockout Drop's doing some good work here. Synth Oil, which doesn't matter anymore. And yeah, I will take Ouija Board, as that is going to give us at least Spectral Tears. And at the very, very least, going to give us another Devil Deal item. First Lost. Okay. So now that we've taken stock of what we've got, we have to be prepared for it to change, probably on this floor, because our damage our damage is not great. If you can survive a Tainted Eden run, then that's step one of becoming a better Isaac player, I think. A Plum Flute, which is plumb bad, but I'm going to touch it anyway just to get it out of here. I am going to go in the Curse Room just to get a little bit of extra money here. Soul of Eve is kind of whatever, but it will give us some money to maybe get just some Soul Hearts. This is a difficult room to dodge in. I am missing and lamenting the loss of Death's List for sure. But it could have been worse. That's kind of Tainted Eden in a nutshell, is that it could have been worse, you know? We're getting money here. You know, we're surviving right now. I don't know about thriving, but we're definitely surviving. I wish we would have been able to hold on to that Twisted Paris and C-section combo, because that would have been absolutely gangbusters for this run, but I don't know what happened there. Lost Contact is keeping us up and stable for now in these firefights with these mobs that are projectile based, but again, we can't hold on to the idea that we're going to basically have any of these items for the entire duration of this run. We need to be prepping for the long haul, which again is the reason why I picked up stuff like My Reflection. I was trying to get some stat boost there with Death's List, and I think we got maybe 2 that mattered before we ended up having a little bit of a reroll accident, a reroll snafu. Hangman Perthrow Death card. Definitely gonna hold on to the Perthrow. We can use the Death card to clear out one of these rooms. It may be a more difficult room. It may be something a little bit tougher than this. Monster Manual, and that's gonna give us the fly, or attack fly. We can go back and use the Perthro rune for the Plum Flute. Or just wait for the shop, which is probably what I'll end up doing. Big room might be below here. I'm not entirely sure. Not. Okay, so dead end after dead end here. We were going the right way towards the shop and the boss, which was down over Meow. Over Meow. Also, haircut rating guy is gonna have a field day with this one. I mean, which are you gonna rate every single haircut that we roll into, or just the starting one? That's what I want to know. I get a much needed movement speed upgrade here, and we might as well use one of our bombs to blow up the keeper. Maybe we'll get lucky and get a powerful Devil Dew item. Now, the basic structure of an Isaac run still remains for Tainted Eden. You still need to be able to stay safe. And safety comes in numbers by way of damage, and not necessarily just not necessarily just your DPS, but damage is helpful. The best defense in Isaac is a good offense. The more damage we're dealing, the safer we are, the less chance we have to get re-rolled, etc., etc., etc. But defensive items also help, like Satan, the stopwatch, for example, or Jelly Belly. Sack Dagger. I'm not going to re-roll that. We'll definitely take it. Okay. Yeah, we might as well. Now, we're getting kind of unlucky here that we're not seeing a whole lot of soul hearts going on here. And it's kind of impressive that we've managed to stay with this roll for so long. We have the re-roll. We're most likely going to use for the next Devil Deal we get into, because we're not going to make boss rush. I mean, we had a slight chance to make boss rush, but making boss rush on Tainted Eden is real tough. I mean, really tough. You got to be gaming. There are some strategies that you can employ with Tainted Eden where you essentially just game the rerolls and purposely reroll over again, kind of like I did in that boss trap room. And until you get something ultra powerful, and then you either roll really hard for Birthright, or you just plow over the entire game. We're not in that position right now. We don't have a overly dominant run to lean upon right now. We get a little sneaky little sack dagger play. Stopwatch was definitely a net gain for us, though, in terms of survivability and staying stable. But now we got to capitalize on it by getting something absolutely massive here. Like a Magic Mush, for example, or like nothing. Luckily for us, we can get into the boss trap room. I mean, it's one soul heart, but is a soul heart really worth doing an entire boss trap room for? And risking reroll, I don't think it is. If we absolutely need to come back and get bombs and also need a soul heart, then yeah, I'll go do it. If this were any other character, I would just go do it real quick, but you have to play smart when it comes to Tainted Eden. You're one hit away from disaster. Freezer Baby is just kind of a nothing burger of an item here in this, and so is this lovely room. Oh, man, I'm almost tempted to re-roll this with Perthro because it's so bad, but I think that this money is probably better spent on the fortune-telling machine and maybe getting some soul hearts, because that's what we truly need outside of the matchbook, of course. And with fortune-telling machines, you don't have to really worry too much about any flies, or usually you don't have to worry about troll bombs spawning and hurting you, so you're free to just simply run into the machine without really caring too much. Okay, there you go. Fortune-telling machines, everybody. How does super waste 16 cents? People often ask me how come I don't play arcades enough. That's the reason why. They're normally a big waste of time and a big waste of money. I basically only play them if we absolutely need to. Much like gambling in real life, you generally lose 99.9% of the time. The house always wins. Okay, gonna go Polaroid here, and oh my goodness. Wow, that is a quad devil deal. Well, we have to take the pact. We need the damage. Plus, it only costs 1 soul heart, essentially. Use Perthrow, and yeah, that's probably one of... This is probably the worst reroll I think I've seen on the triple devil deal item pedestal. Yikes. The pact gives us some more damage for hopefully added stability here, and honestly, I go back to the pickup of the stopwatch. I think that is truly legit. Probably the pickup of the run thus far, and what's helping us stick with this run for so long, despite us, you know, not really getting the best of luck in terms of items and map generation. Little Brimmy, of course, is also quietly kind of making an MVP push here for candidate. Like, this is like a confluence of mediocre items that are all kind of converging at once to make a pretty defensive but smooth run so far. And I hesitate to even say that because you know where this is going to be going. Again, it takes your one hit from disaster with Tainted Eden. Strength card's gonna be huge. Absolutely huge for us. It's freaking room here, dude. I would rather waste a bomb than do that room. I think that most people also kind of feel the same way about that room. Now, we're lucky that our tears rate is also pretty good. It's not the best, but it's good enough to actively have shielded tears being a giant asset to us. It's strong enough. It's strong enough to keep us safe. It's just, again, Dad's lost coins, kind of whatever, because we're only taking it just because it's another item, essentially. 5 bombs. We could look for the super secret room. I'll give it one try here. Maybe 2 tries. Also, my headphone cord is going behind my chair. I don't know how that happened. You know, if we can remain stable through the womb, we may have a good chance at not having to worry about a reroll again. Really, the only danger becomes Isaac and whatever random BS we find in the chest. There's no reason for us to use Sack Dagger as offense right now. We've got plenty of ranged ways to do so. And also, you're seeing how kind of jostling their Loki is is going up against that wall thanks to knockout drops, and we're still making it somehow. Again, I really do credit Stopwatch for being a majority contributor of our stability here. You know, our stats are really not all that impressive, and we're making it work. Get a vault here, which technically only costs us 1 key. We get a soul heart, which is nice. An SK, which I'm not even going to bother picking up. Chariot card. Chariot card's nice, but the thing is the strength card saves us from getting sent down to one soul heart with HP on a reroll, and that's really where the danger lies. Between that and rolling into like Missing No or something, that's the real problem with Tainted Eden, and also Missing No in general. If you do have an item that does automatically reroll you, is rolling into something that resets your HP. I do find it hilarious that we've taken way more items than we already did on yesterday's run. That run was something else, man. And those are like my least favorite type of runs, because like it's not bad enough to be like considered to be a struggle bus necessarily, but it's not good enough to be exciting either. So it's just kind of like, how do you make a run that has just nothing really to talk about interesting and entertaining? And sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. Not every run's going to be an absolute banger. But for those of you who stick around during those sort of mediocre runs, I appreciate it. I try to make it as entertaining as possible. Up to my own personal annoyance level of a certain degree. You know, Isaac can do plenty of that. There's a Soul of Azazel here, which is actually pretty nice for the Mom's Heart fight. It's gonna be down here. Game's trying to trick me into thinking that it's going to be in the big room, but it's not. So Soul of Azazel will make short work of Mom's Heart. Then we need to go back, and we need to 100% not forget about... Okay, never mind, I was wrong. We need to 100% not forget about the Strength card. Do not forget the Strength card. Don't forget the Strength card. Don't forget the Strength card. At this point, we can't really take any more Devil Deal items unless we just get flush with HP somehow. Game really wants me to use the Soul of Azazel on this room, but I'm not going to. I refuse, game. Knockout drops. What are you doing? You know, our damage for what it is not terrible. Like on paper, it doesn't look great, but practical use here, it's looking kind of sturdy. I know the secret room is to the left of, or is to the north of the Three Skull Monty. I know it's there. Just testing you. I was making sure that you're paying attention. It's clearly not there. All the indicators showed that it wasn't there, of course. Kind of grade A moron would think that the regular secret room was there. My gosh, Gertie, are you okay? What? Blue Baby's only friend? You showed up for this party? Let you sing a little bit. Oh, that dirty, dirty trick there, game. I see. Making her go invincible the last possible second. Krampus is at the perfect angle not to get hit by Lord Brimmy. So managed to get him down anyway. No, I will not take out a Krampus. I've been pleasantly surprised by Monster Manual. It's been giving us some quality followers. Put some respect on the name. We could play this Three Skull Monty to try to get some more hearts, because we have nothing else that we're going to do with this money. You thought I was going to forget the strength card, didn't you? You thought there was no way the poor old Sinvicta was going to remember to go back and get that strength card, didn't you? Have a little bit of faith. Yeah, those are hearts, but we don't need those hearts, 3 Skull Monty. We need soul hearts. Or I'll take an HP upgrade. Charge key. Okay. Skatol is, I mean, Skatol's okay. It's not going to do much for us here, but... Okay. Thank you, 3 Skull Monty, for the couple keys. There's your parting gift. Joy. We'll go get these bombs, though, because we kind of need them. We're going to need them to get through the annoying rooms of the cathedral. So, unbelievably, somehow, shockingly, we've been able to manage to hold on to this run for multiple floors now, all the way to the cathedral, and I'm really stunned by that. Like, super shocked by that. And we can use 1 bomb on a blue fire, maybe get lucky. Having a little Brimmy here with the piercing shots is quite nice. Knockback from knockout drops is, again, surprisingly effective for these annoying rooms. If you had asked me at the start of this roll after that Astral Radiance or Astral Projection, Astral Radiance, I'm thinking of Pokemon. After the Astral Projection play, we would have held this run until the cathedral. I said there was no way. There's absolutely no way we'd be able to hold on to this one. But credit to Shielded Tears and to the stopwatch. Making dreams happen right now. Nice, we got a little Abba Dabba Ding Dong, okay. Like I said, this whole run is like it's a weird convergence of what would be considered to be good to maybe mediocre items that are all combining to make a livable, sustained Tainted Eden run, which is really strange. I kind of like it. This is like a Sandlot of Isaac runs, in terms of items anyway. A ragtag group of underappreciated and maybe even possibly underrated items that really showing their worth right now. Fitting for Super Bowl Sunday. I say that, but of course, like, you know, it's the Chiefs and the Niners. Neither one of those teams really struggled this entire season, so it's not like there's one clear underdog ragtag team that's supposed to win or not. That would have been either the Bucs or the Lions. I'm glad the Lions lost. That's right, I said it. Could not handle anymore hearing Dan Campbell speak anymore. I like Dan Campbell, but I liked him a lot more when the Lions were like still kind of like struggling, and you know, and they're the team with grit and all that stuff. But now it just became he just got tiring to listen to. I was not rooting for the Lions. Also, they also beat the Bucs, so I didn't want them to win anyway. We made it all the way to Isaac here, taking the longest path possible. And if we maintain this run through Isaac, I'm going to be real impressed. Again, we have the tears rate to kind of just to stand up and brawl with Isaac here. Got to get him out of this phase, though. Well, Conjoined is doing a good job at keeping the ads under control. I mean, as you see, we're just standing toe-to-toe here with Isaac, not giving him really a chance to attack us. Almost didn't see that beam there. That was a little bit tricky too. Wow, I cannot believe that we are still with this run. This is pretty impressive, I gotta say. Curse the Maze, and we still have the strength card. I roll Maniac, brother. Sure, Linger Bean and Mopticis. It's kind of whatever, but we'll see if the miracle run continues here. This has definitely been a super run for sure. We're not going to get complacent. We still have one more job to do and get through this floor. Didn't even see that leaper there. The maze took us a long way away. I think this is the only stain left. Okay. No. Good demon baby. Bombs are kind of useless now at this point. Oh, we've gone the wrong way. Gonna forget about these red poops. I know it's gonna happen. Gonna forget about them. All right, there's the north and the west side of the map, everybody. Let's head on over to the actual side of the map that we have to go. Yep, and there we go. Leave it to Cage bouncing off of a knockback from knockout drops to end it. We still maintain little Brimstone though, and actually we've got flying and movement speed and Proptosis too. At the end of the day, it was clown physics that got the better of that run, but it's still pretty impressive that we even managed to maintain that for that long. Regular old HP upgrade, and there's always time for that. Okay. That's Key gonna help us out there. So I gotta say that was a pretty impressive run that we had. The run's not over, by the way. I'm just saying the run that we had for so long with Stopwatch and Shielded Tears. Really, truly incredible that we managed to just continue to get through that. Now we got to finish the job here. Now Proptosis is kind of bumming me out a little bit here with the range, not range down, but the drop off. But we are still making it. Oh my Jesus Christ! I don't know what it is with the game and Red Monstros lately, but you need to chill out, game. There's 9 Red Monstros, I think, or maybe even more, and he landed right on top of us. Well, we got Libra, Juice's Shadow. We are not Guppy. We got Guillotine, which I don't even know where I am at this point. Lemon Mishap, which immediately missed. We have Libra and Almond Milk, which you think would be great. But we also have Broken Modem, apparently. Oh, nice. Hungry Soul is going to... Some gangbusters here. D-Bizzle's here. Rainbow Baby, Little Gertie's back. Not exactly sure which part of that hit us, but... Got Sissy! How long has it been, Sissy? Sorry. Also the D-Sizzle, and there you go. So that is one of the more impressive Tainted Eden runs that we've had in quite a while, up to the point of getting hit by Cage. I mean, you can never feel like super duper sturdy on that character. It's always like, it always leaves like a little bit of like uneasiness in your stomach, but I'm glad we powered through it. So thank you for watching, everyone. Have a great Sunday. Your question of the episode today is going to be, where does Tainted Eden lie on your character tier list? Do you love him? Do you hate him? What would you do to improve him? And again, remember, if you take part in it and you stay on the point of the question, the top 3 most upvoted questions or responses to the question will be read on next week's episode. And thank you for those of you who do still continue to contribute to the question of the episode. It does help out a lot. We're definitely going to be bringing it back, hopefully in much stronger form. So thank you for watching, everyone. Enjoy the Super Bowl. And as always, I'll see you all next time. Until then, so long, everybody. Thanks for watching this video. Like and thanks to patrons of mine like Andrew, RageGod91, and Langwart. If you'd like to have your name read at the end of an Isaac episode, check out my Patreon campaign, which you can find at patreon.com/Sinvicta.